Hi, I'm Rakomi Orumuyi, and this is the chat room once again. Today on the show, we'll be talking about blended families. And a blended family is one where parents have children from previous relationships, but all members come together as one unit. That, of course, is more complicated than it sounds, because apart from the blended nuclear family, there may also be blended extended family members like step-in-laws or the other parent. Managing a blended family therefore requires a lot of patience, understanding, love, forgiveness, and a lot of maturity. Shaliwa Onokoya and our very own Ronke will be joining us to share how they have been able to successfully manage their blended families. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Hello, Shaliwa.
Hi.
Welcome to the chat room.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you
Absolutely.
here. And thank you for obliging our request.
Yes, because lots of people aren't open about, being the kind of, what you're about to talk to us about. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. We're talking about blended families.
Yeah.
So how is your family blended?
Okay, my husband has a daughter. Well, before I married him.
Okay.
So now we have 3 girls.
Oh, wow.
And my husband, so far, I think it's one of the best decisions I ever made, because I wouldn't imagine life without my girls.
That's your bonus daughter.
Yeah. There are 3. In fact, if I don't tell you that I have 3 girls,
yes.
If I don't tell you that she's not my biological daughter, you will never know.
Yeah. At what point did he tell you that he had a daughter when you met
Our
him?
second meeting.
Okay. And what did he say, and how did you feel?
He just wanted to know about me. I told him about me, of course, and then he was going to tell. He started telling me about himself by saying, I have a daughter, and she's 7. She was 7 years then.
At the time.
How old is she now?
15.
Okay.
And well, when I heard, I wasn't surprised, because of course we were not dating. We're just meeting
friends.
for the second time. We're just friends. I wouldn't even call it friendship, because someone I met for the first time, we met at met somewhere. Then we were meeting for the second time. I barely know you. I don't know anything about you. So it's
there were no expectations.
No, there were no expectations. So, but later when we started
getting heated up,
we started sending calling, text message, and all. And one day it occurred to me, okay, fine. What if eventually you end up marrying this guy? What will happen? How would you cope with the fact that he has a child? And I looked at myself. What do you really want? What kind of person are you? I look at myself and I said, okay, I just want to be happy. I want to have a happy family. So if eventually I'm going to marry this guy that has a child already, then it means that I must be ready to take that child as my child.
Absolutely.
Accommodate her.
Yes.
Just make everybody happy. That is when you can be happy yourself.
Right.
And then, fortunately for me, when I met this girl, the moment she saw me, she just jumped at me, and I was like, wow. And we just clicked.
Right. One of the things that most girls who are dating someone who has a child, for example, what were your parents' thoughts on, because they have their mindset about what blended families are like as well. So what were your mom, for example, what was her reaction when you told her you're dating this guy and he has a child?
Okay, my parents are I'm very lucky. My parents are good people, and I say that they are very, very good. They are good people. And when I met my husband and we met the second time, I told them about I met somebody and is this, is that. I told him, and then he has a child. My parents were like, okay, that's no problem. And then when my husband and I started dating, my husband, if you know my husband very well, is someone, I don't know.
Yeah, say it.
My husband is just one weird guy. That kind of guy. He said, in fact, the very first time he met my parents, my dad, he told, excuse me, sir, Titi delaying you, because the road to our house then was quite bad.
Yes. Oh my word.
And
he said that to your
dad? Yeah, my dad. And they were like, my dad was like,
what happened to trying to impress your in-laws?
No, he doesn't impress anybody. My husband is not
very down to earth, and blunt,
very blunt like that. And they just laughed over it, and they had a wonderful time. But when he told my mom, my parents, they had a meeting, and he told them that he had a child and all of that. He has a child and all of that. But my parents were like, okay, that's no problem. What if our child is the one that has a child before you met her? So what would you say? You will not marry her?
Absolutely.
And that my parents are just like that. And I think one of the reasons why I didn't have problems agreeing to date somebody who has a child is because I think I took that from my parents.
Right.
I can live with anybody. So long as you're not sitting on my head, you're not sleeping on my head,
Right.
I'm okay. I can share my things with you. I don't have a problem because I know she's a girl. I am female myself. So if I'm going to be raising a child that is not biologically mine, then I know, of course, I would have to share my things with her. You know, sometimes she will have to. I'll be okay. Like when I'm cooking, I train her the way I train my kids. We are so close. There's hardly anything she doesn't tell me, and I knew I had to bring myself down to her level.
Right. Right.
Not, but when the mommy duties we have to play the mommy roles, I do it. But most of the time, I try to come down to their level. Sometimes we dance together,
Like
and they'll be making jest of me,
Yes.
you know. And then sometimes when she wants to go out and she says, "Mommy, I don't have a clothes to wear." You don't have a clothes to wear. What will you now wear now? It's not like she doesn't have a clothes to. I knew she was up to something.
Yes.
I knew she wanted to do something, but then okay, fine. I will just pick something because we are almost the same size.
Yes.
I'll just pick it and pick a top or something and give it to her.
To wear.
She'll say, "Thank you, mommy." That "thank you, mommy," don't expect her to give that
Right.
top back to me. She's just like that. So we are so close. So many things we discuss. You know, some personal. She's a teenager, so you
Yes.
can expect some discussions.
Yes,
Of, you know, understand.
yes.
So
Crushes
because
and all
I
that.
want her to talk to me, I knew that. Okay, let me say, I know that teenagers are usually, you know, the way they have
Secretive,
secrecy.
yes.
And then, of course, when I was growing up, you know, let me give you an example. When I was in one day, I just called her. I said, "Musuro, come." I told her that when I was in SS2, you know, I had this guy. He lives next building to hers.
Yes.
And then the guy would always write a note, you know, give it to one boy that lives in their house, and the boy would bring it to my house. And I was wondering, where is this coming from? You know, in those days,
Yes.
those letters,
I
those your love
know.
letters, they will even draw the
Doxology.
art, you know, doxology. In fact, I just shared my experience like that, and I realized that she was just smiling and you know, enjoying it, but she was this kind of smile. You will know that this girl knows. Oh, I understand. Not like in those days. Hey, really? You want to know
She
more?
wasn't inquisitive.
She wasn't inquisitive.
She looked
know?
like, oh, yeah.
So, and then that was okay. I knew. I noticed that, and then so I didn't say anything. We just continued like that,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to pester her too much. So a few days after, I just called her. You know, these days, if you some guys will know, so they will, unlike in those days, they can just come to you. They will tell you are looking beautiful, you are this, you are that.
Yes.
And I was like, even in my school, they don't. The guys in my school don't do that though. Those boys.
Wow, they're more advanced.
They don't do that. So the way she told me, so I showed interest. You know, I came down to her level,
Yeah.
and then she started pouring out and saying all
Yeah.
sorts, and you know, and I made sure not to judge her, you know, because if I wanted her to talk to me, to be free. You know, you should, your mother, you must be able to tell your mother everything so
Right.
that she'll be able to lead you. So she was just talking to me and all of that. Then from there, I was able to I deduced some things, you know. I just kept them in my head. So I know what to look for. When I see that she's doing this, I know that I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I was able, and we are that close. There is nothing, a lot of them they have
Really?
come up to
That's
me,
good.
and even the girl that lives with me, we are so close that they will come up to me. I don't need to ask them. They will come to me. So we are that, they are that free to me that, in fact, I think that relationship, I don't know. I don't know how I did that, but I think it's just the grace of God.
All
I'm
right.
going to have to put you on the spot now,
Okay.
Ronke. So what's your relationship with your stepdaughters like?
Well, we're also very close, but we've had our moments. I remember when I met them, they were about 7 and 10. So
How old
and
are they now?
They're 13 and 15.
Oh, wow.
So, well, 16 in October. So I remember meeting them, but I was glad that the way I met them wasn't in a way. I met them without their father's knowledge, and I
Okay.
met them on my own.
Did you sneak behind him?
Yep, I did. I went behind you because, I mean, unlike her, when I heard she had a child, I thought, okay, you know, or he had kids. I thought, okay, you know
Not
what,
even
we're
a
going to
child,
be friends.
kids,
Exactly.
like,
I thought, you know what, we'll be friends.
Hi, bye.
Absolutely. I never thought I would be a stepmom. It just never occurred to me. And so when I met him and he said he had children, I thought, no, this is not going to work. But then we started talking. I felt like I really like this guy. So am I going to, you know, just
Let it go
Yeah,
because
let
of
it go
that?
because. So I thought, okay, you know what? Hey, I'm going to visit the kids without. Actually, it was my auntie's idea. So anyway, we went to visit them, and then I think that's good it's just a tip from me for anyone who's dating someone who has kids? Because kids obviously put up a defense. Oh, you want to be my mom. You want to take, especially if they've been on their own for a while. They don't have that mommy authority figure. Which was the case in mine. So he was raising them alone. He was a single dad.
Oh, wow.
You know, so for me, going there without them thinking, oh, she wants to be our mom. She wants to take over. They felt like I was this friend, this auntie friend, and we had such a great time that they kept saying, oh, come back next week. By the end of the week, they said, will you marry our daddy?
Oh, wow. They proposed to you on their dad's behalf.
Yep, you know, so that's my personal tip for anyone who's dating someone. Don't go, you know, being introduced. And I guess whatever works for you, but that's what worked for me. So for me, I was very apprehensive, I thought. But now we've gone through a lot. We've gone through the moments of don't try and, you know, be my mom. And then we've gone through that to the point where, I mean, you would never be able to tell. You would never be able to tell when we go out. Say, oh, they even say, oh, this one looks like you, that one looks like daddy, and I'm just smiling with myself. Absolutely, you know. So we have such a great relationship. Yes, I'm a disciplinarian, so they know, you know, mommy's always shouting, etc., etc. But, which actually I was going to ask her as well. How do you discipline, or how do you? Because I know the thing with having stepchildren is you're wary about discipline because you don't want to take it too far.
Yes, you're always extra critical
exactly
of yourself. Like, okay,
would I do this to my own child?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, for me, I raised them. I raised my kids the same way. She is my child. Whether I like it or not, I have to raise her because she's going to be whatever she does, she's going to be an example
to your kids,
to my other kids.
They are younger than
they are younger,
and they're girls as well.
Yes. They are girls as well. So for whatever it is, I think the most important thing is for you and your husband to be on the same page.
Oh,
that's important.
It's very important because you can imagine a situation whereby you as a stepmom, you are trying to correct the child, trying to train her, and the guy is your husband is like, why are you talking to her like that? Is she because she's not your daughter? Forget the fact that even your own children, you will talk to them like that, you train them like that.
Can we give kudos to the men who are very mature and are able, because I think that is also a big factor.
Yeah, it is.
When the man is not mature enough to just allow you, you want her to mother your children, but you're always butting in. And that's something my husband, oh my days. At one time he said, don't ask me anything. Go and ask the mom.
He has left them to you.
Absolutely. And it's important for the man to be able to
your husband is a good guy. Like my husband, you know, if the man himself is not matured himself,
yes,
he doesn't. If he's not man enough, he's going to turn. No, he's going to himself turn that out.
Yes, upside down.
Absolutely. Whatever my kids need. Anything they need. In fact, if you're going to take banana in that house, you must come to mommy.
Yes.
If you go to daddy, you have to come back.
Absolutely.
Send you back.
My children now say, you're the one that's powerful in the house.
Even if daddy says, okay, you can have it, I'm sure they will come back to me and say, mommy, if they bring anything from school, even my older daughter, if she brings anything from school, if she's back from school today, she will bring a report card to me before she takes it to daddy. I must see it.
Same here.
So daddy, and whatever she needs for school, she has to come to me first. I will determine whether she actually needs it or not.
Absolutely.
Okay, mommy, she was going back to school one time like that. She wrote school bags. She wrote this. You know why she wrote school bag? She said she wanted another school bag. Meanwhile, the one she was using
was still
okay.
Yes. They just think new session.
Exactly.
No, not new session. No, because she wrote another school bag on the list simply because there are some of her classmates who have 2 bags.
I see.
So she wants to
fill among.
So when I said, go and bring your school bag. She brought it to me. Mommy, it's torn here. You see, this is torn here. Don't worry, I have needle and thread. We have needle and thread outside. It's torn here. Honestly, because I just cancelled it out because I felt she didn't need another school bag. Fine, we have our resources must be spent on. Our limited means must be spent on things that are necessities.
Absolutely.
So what I do usually is the dad will say, okay, go and sort them out. Wherever it is, you guys come up and let me know.
Yep.
So I will draw a scale of preference. What do we need?
Exactly.
Okay, you need a bag, you need this, you need that. Go and bring your shoes. When it comes to me, mommy, I started again. I have started.
Yeah.
If you are taking milk to the hostel, I must know how many sachet of milk do you need. In fact, this time, I don't buy the 450 grams anymore. Yeah. It's a sachet milk.
Well,
so
you at least can,
of course,
because people often go the extreme. Is either you spoil her because you don't want to seem like a wicked mother, or you are overly
too hard on her.
Absolutely. So finding that balance,
of course. And then sometimes she comes to me and say, mommy, you know, they want to blackmail you emotionally.
Manipulate.
Yes.
I know that like, we are the same. I come down to their level. So if you want to turn yourself to a rebel, I will also turn myself to a rebel. Later we'll fight and then we'll make up again. Of course.
Yes.
When it comes to dealing with my daughters, I deal with, of course, the teenager. I deal with her the way I feel she should be dealt with. I don't beat them. But my 5-year-old, sometimes they can get you.
Of course.
Yes. So, but for the teenager, I talk to her. And of course, we talk more with, my facial expression. The moment she looks at me and I do like this.
She gets it.
If I don't stop this, I'll be in trouble.
She gets it.
Okay, so how do you, step parents usually they face criticism from maybe friends of the previous spouse or whatever, you're under the microscope a lot, they are judging you, they are extra critical. Did you experience that?
Well, maybe because how do I put it? My husband, the people they knew before I met my husband, we don't stay in the same state. We are not in the same state.
Okay.
And apart from that, of course, from family members, my husband's family, maybe those that were loyal to her and all of that.
Yes, exactly.
Do I care? See, you shouldn't care. Just know you are doing the right thing.
Yes.
I live a life of no
Deal
regrets.
with your conscience.
Yes.
Your conscience. See, if I greet you and you don't answer me, that does not mean I will not greet you tomorrow. I don't care whether you answer me or not.
So it doesn't get to you.
It doesn't mean I will pinch you back.
Yes.
If you pour water for me now and I sleep, it doesn't mean I will pour water for you and you will sleep again. No, I will not do that. I just do. I do what makes me happy.
Yes.
So long as I know that my conscience is clear, and I will not regret it.
Absolutely.
So I don't care.
So coming to you now, Ronke. I know that you once mentioned that some people said some things that filtered back to you, and
absolutely. Not filtered back to me. Actually, said it to my face.
I
remember. And it was obviously is something that hurt my feelings because I love my girls, and everyone that knows us know I love my girls. So and then they had come of age to the point when they became teenagers. I wanted them to. They were finding their individual style.
Yes.
And so in church, somebody called me and said, and I knew that obviously it was because they had all congregated
talked about it.
And said, some people were saying that the children no longer dress nice. And for me, I thought, wow, the fact that this person is in my face and you're not afraid that I can actually punch you out. For me, it hurt my feelings because these are people that I'm constantly shopping.
Yes.
There are times I travel out of the country. I really buy things for myself.
When you have kids, it's like that.
But they're of age, and I felt that because on Sundays it's always like a fashion show in my house. Or what do you think about this one? And I'm like, that's a bit too revealing. That's not. So they were finding their style, and I realized that their style were a bit too quirky. I bet for some people. So, but for them, I guess they wanted to just say something. And so for me, it really did hurt my feelings. But after a while, I ranted, I raved, I went on all of I found ways to. The good thing about my husband is so mature, so he allows me to rant. He's like, do you want me to go and tell that person? Or do you want me to tell the person off? After I'd ranted and gotten out of the way, I just thought, you know what? There's no point, because I already just said, you know what? I think everyone should mind their business. I'm raising my children the way I know.
Oh, you said that to the person?
Yes, I said that to her, which I was happy. I'm raising my children the best way I know how. So everyone should mind their children, because I see some of your children, and sometimes I don't condone of some of their outfits.
You said that wrong.
Yes, but I don't come to you telling you that your children don't dress nice. So how about we all just mind our business? So I was able to at least say that, and people will say things. It will filter to their extent. Of course, I'm sure people will say more that I really don't get to hear.
That you didn't even hear. Yes.
But like she said, you just brush it off.
Exactly.
And then because people will say those things, expect it, and just realize that they're just is a matter of their mindset and the meanness in their heart. So they find that you're happy. They're used to the stepmom situation where you are treating the children like house helps.
So you give them something to gossip about.
Exactly. But when they see that you guys are happy family, children are calling you mommy, they are thinking, let's find something. Let's pick.
Yes. Absolutely.
So nobody cares.
So what's your relationship with your stepdaughter's mom?
I've not met her.
Oh, okay. You've not met her one-on-one.
But we have spoken on phone a couple of times.
Okay, and how did that go?
It went well. She was actually praying for me.
Oh, wow.
Because of course, for her to have done that, it means that the
means
daughter
the
had done
feedback,
back home. The
yes,
feedback,
her daughter
good
has given
feedback.
her.
Yeah, and it's important because I hear certain situations where, people are setting up the child to be combative
Yes,
with you,
yes.
but they don't know they're doing the child no favors, because it's important to let her know that, hey, this is someone that's going to be in your life for a long time. You know, her children are going to be your siblings.
Absolutely.
So it's important that you encourage her not to have that whole, oh, she's a stepmom, so she must be wicked, and you know, and all of that.
There was
But,
a time I could remember I think my birthday 2 years ago. She called me. My daughter used her mom's phone to call me. She called me, and after talking to me, she gave the mom collected the phone, and she prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and all of
that's
that.
so
But
sweet.
I've
That's nice.
I've never met that.
Fantastic. So what are some of the challenges with having a blended family situation?
Challenges. Aside for what Ronke said now, I think, okay, for me, it's sometimes there were times I thought, oh, I wish my husband never had a child with
my
another
family
woman.
was just normal.
Okay, you understand?
Yeah, yes.
But then I look at the positive side of it. She's a good girl. She has always been a part of my life. She is my I don't know. I feel like she is mine.
yeah.
Okay, maybe when I want to be realistic, I know, okay, she's not my biological child, but
yes.
the relationship and everything, it has, we have, in fact, I am happy.
You're lucky she's a good girl.
She's a good girl.
Do you think, I mean, ahead to, because my mind can be very, so if I can imagine if I was in that situation, I'll think of, okay, I'm already so attached to this girl. On the day of her wedding, her mom might be there. Well, her mom will be there.
Really, I thought about that.
Would that make you feel somehow?
See, I am this kind of person. I prepare my mind ahead of time. So I knew that I already thought about it. Okay, on our wedding day, they will wear the same. They will not wear the same clothes. Maybe probably the same color, because my husband will not want to wear lace. The mother will want to wear lace. You know, those mama always wear their gele. Of course, maybe the same color.
Right.
But I'll wear my husband. It does not change the fact that he's not my husband. He's my husband.
Yes.
He is my husband. Yes. That one day, it's just we have to come together to celebrate. Like, in fact, I am going to invite my friend. She has always, everybody has always known her to be my child. Unless I tell you, you will not know.
Absolutely.
Even our friends, all our friends in school, everybody, as everybody, they know me. And they know her sister. She's proud of her sisters.
Yeah.
Anywhere they go. In fact, my younger daughter calls herself a celebrity in her school. And the point at her sister, I understand, was telling her that she was beginning to snatch her friends. So there is this the relationship
love between
very, very
more than
cordial. And I think I don't know if it's wrong. I think I have to give myself the credit, because I am trying every possible best to make everybody happy in the family, especially my husband. Now imagine if my husband knows that if the relationship between my daughter and I
is not cordial,
is strained.
Exactly.
How do you think it's going to be a strain on my husband?
Yes, sure. Be a strain on your marriage.
One thing is for him to go out, the stress of making money, work, and all of that, and then coming back, knowing fully well that the family is coming back to. There is a problem. There is
mommy did this.
Mommy did this. She's not doing. She has to settle all that. So I never wanted that to happen in my family. So I knew I had to put everything I have into it. I have to raise her like my own biological child. I must make sure everybody is happy.
Yeah,
I
think she has a good mother as well.
I think so.
And she's a good girl, because some mothers know how to coach their children and pitch them against you.
Yes.
So yeah, you're doing a good job. But I think the mother too,
kudos to her.
And the girl as well.
Absolutely.
So generally, I mean, there are young girls out there who maybe have met great people and are thinking, okay, maybe because they have children already, or maybe even men who have met great women and thinking, oh, they have children already, so I'm going to disqualify him or her based on that. I mean, your marriage is working, it's a blended family, and you're making it work successfully. What is your advice to them? And I'm coming to you too.
Thank you, Rokondi. My advice to people like that is, you have to ask yourself what you want. If you love the guy or the woman, do you think you'll be able to cope with that fact that he has children, a child or children, and because it won't be nice of you to go eventually get married to that person and then start reacting. Do you understand? Badly. So ask yourself, do you think, will I be able to cope? How will I manage people, oftentimes, because even me, when I was getting married to my husband, I knew that I would be able to cope with the girl. But then, I never thought of the fact that some people outside will be saying something, or maybe sometimes I'll feel somehow. No. But along the line,
it happened.
It happened. Then I said, okay, fine, it happened. There's nothing I can do about it. The first thing means that I love my husband, I love my child, I want my marriage to work, I love everybody, let's just go like that. Not everybody can do that.
Exactly.
So just look at yourself, look at what will I be able to cope with this? Will I be able to handle it?
Yes.
If you know you can't handle it, don't force it. Just move on.
Exactly.
Look for someone who does not have kids.
I think a big part of it is to make peace with the fact that, for instance, the mother of the child might always be in the picture. The father of the child might always be in the picture. I think that's where a lot of people struggle. You know, like, oh, you're still communicating with your ex. You're still, you know, I mean, if there's a child between them. And that child will always be there. And that child will always be a link between both of them. So there will always be communication between them. Yeah, you have to be realistic. I think that just sums it up. You have to be realistic.
There's one other thing I would like to mention. Sometimes for people, some fathers are, okay, some parents are, you know, when emotions, when you have kids, to the spouse, it may look like, oh, he loves his other child more than my own, or he spends more time more than the child, more than my own children. But it doesn't work like that. Because, okay, let me take my dad my dad. He loves, we are 4.
Yes.
All from my mom. But it never, if you ask me, I will tell you I'm my dad's favorite.
Yes.
If you ask my younger brother, he's going to tell you the same. Ask every of my siblings, they will tell you the same. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He will come to you and say, my darling, you are the one I love most. And he goes to the other side. So that way, there is no how you have more than 2 kids and you will not love one more than the other.
I think also, maybe because you feel that child is, I don't know, not disadvantaged because of the situation.
Yes, you
sometimes
want to
overcompensate.
Yes.
So it's not that you love the child more, but
that is where emotion comes
and emotional intelligence.
Yes, you must learn to manage your emotions.
Absolutely.
And be understanding
your emotions.
Yeah, I think if you find someone that you like who has, it's more about the person that we've just talked about, how our husbands are very mature. And so because of their maturity, there are certain situations where some people would have just messed up the whole relationship. So be sure that this guy or lady is mature, because you will come to a situation where you want to discipline this child and the person says, don't talk to my child. That's going to obviously cause a lot of friction. So be sure that the person you're marrying is very mature and will also give you the authority room.
You must be man enough.
Exactly. And then also a lot of things that people don't talk about is such a mental and emotional task that sometimes, yes, like she said, sometimes you see this child with, okay, before I say that one, this is my own personal opinion, and you don't have to take it. If you marry someone that has a child, I'll say hold off on having your children. That was one of the best things that happened to me. Even though we're trying to have kids, and we didn't have a child for like a whole year. But that 1 year, I spent time with my bond with my older girls. And I'm like, thank you, God, for not allowing me to have a child early. If I had, I would have been distracted from being able to nurture them for the whole year that I did. And then also I'll be starting to compare or have a child now, and then they'll... So we had that 1 year to actually bond and become mother and daughter. And then also third thing that I was going to mention is it can be very mental. There are times, yes, you will get jealous. So I remember while we were growing up as well, there are times when my mom would be like, what are you saying? What are you whispering to your dad? What are you? So yes, those thoughts will come. There are thoughts that will tell you, oh, would you do that to your own child? There are thoughts that will tell you, oh, you've crossed the line. There are thoughts that will make you feel guilty. But just know it's normal. As long as you know you have love in your heart and you're doing the right thing, your conscience is clear, discipline them as you would yours, because you don't want to spoil them just because they're not your biological children. Discipline them as you know you would yours. And then also just love, play, and just be there. It can be very mentally tasking, but you have to fight through all of those voices that tell you, wicked stepmother, that's how it starts.
Be your guide.
Exactly. Let your conscience be your guard. Oh, I'm getting all very passionate about this stuff.
You should start a session. I mean, start coaching people.
I know. Well, it's been so good.
Thank you so much, Aliwa, for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been a very good, great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us a peek into your world.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have you to thank for watching. And so we hope that there's something you can learn from today's session. For those who are in this situation, you know you're not alone. You know you shouldn't take that label of a wicked step, whatever. and just love. It's all love. Thank you so much for watching the chat room. Until next time when we're back your way, don't forget, it's always a good time for real talk and deep conversations.